In a breaking news story, we are learning that there are other witnesses in the Brett Kavanaugh case, and they want to provide information to the FBI as part of their investigation, but have had difficulty doing so. As a result, they've reached out to media sources, and we're learning about the material that they have. So Kerry Berchem is one of the people who's trying to get text messages to FBI investigators, and Kerry has had a difficult time doing so. But here's what we know about these text messages. So apparently, in the days leading up to Deborah Ramirez's accusations, there were texts indicating that Brett Kavanaugh was preemptively reaching out to people he went to school with, in Yale specifically, to make sure that he could get their support as soon as this story broke. And this was the story that the New Yorker wrote about. Ronan Farrow was one of the writers for that piece. Now, the text between Berchem and Karen Yarasavage, both friends of Kavanaugh, suggests that the nominee was personally talking with former classmates about Ramirez's story in advance of the New Yorker article that made her allegation public. Ramirez was the accuser who alleged that during a drinking game, Kavanaugh took his pants down and then put his penis in her face. The texts also demonstrate that Kavanaugh and Ramirez were more socially connected than previously understood, and that Ramirez was uncomfortable around Kavanaugh when they saw each other at a wedding 10 years later. So Berchem says that one of the things that Kavanaugh was looking for was a photo featuring Deborah Ramirez and Kavanaugh, and they're both smiling in the picture. It's not just the two of them. Apparently this was a photo taken at a wedding. And Berchem also says that she noticed that Deborah Ramirez was incredibly uncomfortable around him. In fact, she says that Ramirez clung to me. She never went near him. And she found that odd. Anyway, the thing to take away from this is potential evidence that could help with the FBI investigation. It appears that it's been very difficult for witnesses to get that information to the FBI, and that needs to change. I understand that this investigation will be limited to 1 week, but even so, I mean, if you have people who know Kavanaugh personally and they have some evidence, the FBI needs to reach out to them and get that evidence from them.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that Kavanaugh is reaching out to people to try to make his case. I don't think that that's overly shocking or anything. And he's got every right to try to rally witnesses to his defense. This one seems to have backfired because it looks like there's someone saying, no, Ramirez was clearly uncomfortable around Kavanaugh. That's a small piece of evidence, but it's something. And larger piece of evidence could be that now Debbie Ramirez has given the names of other people she believes were at the party where Kavanaugh did what he did to her, according to her allegations. And look, that's why the FBI investigation might be dispositive, that they might look at it and go, all right, guys, here are, for example, 4 people who were at that party at Yale, and every one of them says Kavanaugh didn't do it. That either it didn't happen at all, and Debbie must be remembering a different party or a wrong party, or it didn't happen, or et cetera. She was intoxicated. She admits to that very openly, almost aggressively so, and talks about her lapses in some of her recollections. And a lot of the witnesses say she is over the top honest, right? And so they might look at that and go, hey, you know what? There was a reason why she was honest, because she really couldn't remember some of it. Or they can say, 2 or 3 of the people at the party say it did happen and it was Brett Kavanaugh. Well, then I think we're done with this thing.
Right.
So we'll see. But all the damage control in the world and a photo of a big wedding where you both happen to be at the wedding is not going to overcome those witnesses if they exist.
Exactly. And one other thing I wanted to add, look, as more potentially corroborating evidence starts trickling in, you should pay very close attention to how Senate Republicans react to it. So in this case, in regard to these text messages, a spokesperson for Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley said the following: the texts from Ms. Berchem do not appear relevant or contradictory to Judge Kavanaugh's testimony. This appears to be another last-ditch effort to derail the nomination with baseless innuendo by Democrats who have already decided to vote no. These are Kavanaugh's classmates who have potentially relevant evidence in this investigation. Why are you guys so afraid of that? It's like they're desperate to, skirt this issue, to pretend like, he's 100% innocent. They didn't want the investigation to begin with. Anytime you have something that could potentially be corroborating, they want to deny it. I don't know, they're just acting very guilty to me.
Yeah, so Mitch McConnell, along those lines, also breaking news just now, said, we will be voting this week on Kavanaugh. So I don't know how he's counting the week of the FBI investigation. I don't know if that means they're voting on Friday, Sunday, et cetera. But basically, we gotta go, we gotta wrap this thing up right now. It seems like they're in mid-panic about what the FBI might find out. So, but there's only one way to find out. We gotta see what the FBI says, and then we'll react accordingly. The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.